What's good YouTube, Manaphy here, and in today's video we're on the final expert solo battle of the Celestial Gardens expansion, Solgaleo EX, and as always we try to beat these challenges with a specified type as well as 3 diamonds or less all in one go. I say specified type because especially for like this instance, it requires to beat it with only water, which isn't necessarily the opposite of metal. I'm aware that they say it because the ice typing is under the umbrella of water in the card game, but since we're not forced to play them, it's not really the opposite type, so whatever. We're using all waters and 3 diamonds or less to take down this deck. But before we show you the deck that will take this down, I want to focus on this deck as a whole, because this deck has to be the most annoying or most like frustrating deck to beat out of all the expert battle guides that I've done in like through all the sets. I've done it since I've only been doing these type of videos since Spacetime, and honestly this has to be the most frustrating one when it came to like finding something consistently, because if they see their best hand, and I will show an example of like it doesn't matter what you're doing, that if they see their best hand you're getting crushed, which is the reason why I play Solgaleo in ranked. Like their best hand is so aggressive that it's very hard for anything to do, for any deck to do anything about it. So, but enough of complaining about what it can do. Let's look at what we could kind of like take advantage of, at least be prepared for. And that is, I guess the supporter lineup, which is the 2 lilies don't really come up because the way we're trying to take this deck down, the lily doesn't affect the way we take the deck down. For the most part, we're trading in a way where we take it down regardless if they heal in between. Although I guess there's like a niche that I'll bring it up if it comes up. But Cyrus also tends to not come up because we have like everything that's in the front is not meant to live. Like it will get knocked out, so it's not like we're gonna back it up. Although it could come up, and you'll see it in the gameplay where we try to play around Cyrus when they use their Sabrina. Sabrina definitely you have to play around. Try not to put like a 4th Pokemon. Like once you have your finisher, you want to keep that as like you got to like force them to take that down, because they could always just Sabrina and snipe the back line. Everything else is pretty standard. It's like a Solgaleo Excadrill. Yeah, Klefki's like a little bit out in left field, but it makes them like more consistently go through their deck. So it's like there's like a good and bad to it. Like if you see Klefki, you're like you have a breather, you have time to build up, because honestly it's only dealing 10 damage. But the draw makes them like ever closer to bringing out Solgaleo, which is basically game ending if they see it too early. But there's not much I could explain about this deck. This is almost like a constructed version of Solgaleo, like in the form of like, yes, you would play probably like some tool cards. I prefer Skarmory. I made a video on the Solgaleo Skarmory list that did very well for me in ranked Master Ball. But there is an Excadrill version, and if they see the line, you're in trouble. But let's jump into the deck that we'll be using, because you can start seeing like where my mind is at when I'm trying to beat this deck. You better believe it, we're back to old reliable Blastoise. When it comes to 3 diamonds or less and water, the strongest option we have is Blastoise. And when they give us Pokemon like this Solgaleo that has 180 HP, we have to bring out like the big guns. And Big Man Blastoise is that man. Unfortunately, as you could tell, like at best, we still don't knock out Solgaleo. So that's where like it gets interesting, or like where we have to like really start like I don't know, like grinding our gears to figure out the way out of this. But as it's clear as day, like the lineup continues to be like your standard water at like from formats past, because currently there's not like a water deck that's doing too much. But yeah, we have our 2-1-2 line because of Bird Candy. Thankfully we get to skip out on a second War Turtle, and we have more consistent ways to get to Blastoise. We do have the Manaphy to ramp, and then Palkia is kind of like a middleman. Like you want to go from Manaphy to Palkia to Blastoise, or in some scenarios we actually have Palkia like just chilling in the back just in case Blastoise isn't able to finish off Solgaleo. You jump in with Palkia. At least that's like the big idea. But that's actually the niche interaction where Lily comes in. Because if Blastoise hits Solgaleo down to max, it hits for 140, you put it down to 40. Technically, usually it's 30 because they're hitting you once. Yes, Palkia could swing and knock it out with just 60, but if they heal up to 90, then you gotta hope that you're like praying that Palkia gets a heads. It didn't come up in my gameplay, but it was definitely a situation where like I played in a situation where it could have come up. So that's like the niche time when Lily actually matters. Other than that, when you're training with Blastoise, if they heal with Lily, your Blastoise still wins the trade. For supporters, the Research, Pokeball, those are all standard. The one I write is because that's the way you win the trade and don't lose to an Excadrill in the backline. Because ideally, you want to go, like, obviously you spend the beginning of the game just building up your Blastoise. And then when they bring out Solgaleo, you bring out your Blastoise. Don't knock out Manaphy, goodbye Palkia, whatever's in the front is gone. You go Blastoise, hit them for 140. I keep saying the wrong number. They go down to 30 HP most likely. You pass it to them. They'll hit you for 120. I mean, yeah, they'll hit you for 120. Then you knock them out in return. But then you're at 30 HP. Excadrill knocks you out. But if you have a rider, you go up to 70, and they have no way of like returning the knockout, and you just knock out Excadrill for game. That's like the ideal line, right? So that's the point of RARITY, is to make sure that you win the trade, don't get knocked out by Excadrill in the back line. Then we have 1 Mars and 1 red card. If I could put like max 2, if I could play 2 Mars and 2 red cards, if there was space for that, I would. Because honestly, the beginning of the game is just like a prayer. You're like hoping they don't have it, so they'll use their researches, their Pokeballs, and you're like, red card, put them back down to 3. Whatever they do, Mars, like just keep resetting their hand, because the chances that they have Solgaleo and Rare Candy in their 3-card hand is a lot, obviously, it's a lot less than their 5-6 card hand that they have if you just let them play out their Klefki plays or whatever. Like if they go research Klefki, they draw 3 cards and like a Pokeball, so you know they're deck thinning. Red card. Mars. It doesn't matter whether whether Mars is the equivalent to a red card. Like honestly, there was lists where I was trying where I had double red card, 1 Mars. It was like brutal. But yeah, nonetheless, these cards are like almost like it's half like a prayer, half like very necessary, because it's like the best way to slow down their chances of getting it. It's like what the meta is doing with all these like rare candy decks, so we're trying to like implement it in the solo battle. And then obviously we have the 2 rare candies just to speed up the evolution. And then really important is the ratios of the tools. Although in practice, and you will hear me say it in the gameplay, there is a world where you might want to have 2 helmets, and that is only because you want to see the helmet. Because another line that you could have where you win the trade is obviously Solgaleo attacks, knocks out whatever you had prior. In this case, like a Manaphy or something. They go down to 170. Then you hit them for 140, puts them down to 30. If you have a helmet on your Blastoise, their swing will knock them out, because they take 10 from their own and 20 again. So that's one line that could also win you the game when you start trading with the Solgaleo. And then the reason we have 2 capes is because we really need to see it. Because whether we're going first or second, their Excadrill one-shots Manaphy unless you have cape. Cape allows you to, like, let's say if we're going first, we're able to go Manaphy cape, or even if the cape, like, you need to have cape by turn 2, right? But if you're going first, the Drillbur hits you for 10. So even with cape, you're still at 60 and you survive the Excadrill attack. The point of the initial cape is just so that Manaphy is able to ramp more than once. And then the second cape is essentially works on like in a perfect world, you have 1 cape to make Manaphy ramp a little longer, and you have a second cape where Palkia could actually take a hit from Solgaleo. That's the perfect world. But realistically, we play 2 because it's very important for Manaphy to have 1. It's more important for Manaphy to have the cape than it is for Blastoise to have the helmet. At least that's the way I look at it, and that's like the reasoning behind the list. Hopefully I haven't been talking for too long. Hopefully this list works for you. I will show an example where I get completely wrecked by the Solgaleo deck to kind of show y'all, like, don't get too frustrated if it happens to you. You're gonna have to like retry, and then I'll show you 2 examples after that where I actually was able to finish it. And one was very ugly and like we got lucky. The other one, the deck worked as intended and perfectly. So hopefully you guys get a taste or an idea of how to play the deck or what to expect. Nonetheless, I hope this video helped you. This is the final Expert Solo Battle Guide of the season of the month. However, as when the next set drops, you already know your boy will have those as well. So feel free, and I hope you all subscribe, because although the Expert Solo Battle Guides are done for now, they will be back up and running every time a set drops. And there's so much more like content in this channel from Pokemon Pocket. If you enjoy anything Pokemon Pocket, you'll find it in this channel. So please stick around. I appreciate y'all. We're getting so close to 500. With that said, I think I've yapped enough about this list and how much Solgaleo is a pain to beat. So best of luck, and above all else, stay pro. All right, we get to go first. Not ideal, but if we see Cape, we're fine. Well, now we really need to see a Squirtle. If we see like Pokemon that we can Manaphy, well, especially with their Cosmog opener, no need to be alarmed as long as we see it on the following turn, right? Rare Candy or War Turtle is not exactly the start we want, but we'll make do, right? Okay. This is the type of hand. Wait, did they really go double Pokeball and didn't put a single one down? Really hoping for Squirtle, but at least we saw a Pokemon, right? Actually, Manaphy would have been horrendous there. Realistically, they could hit us with Solgaleo as early as next turn. And what exactly do we do to that? Like, the helmet is not meant for Manaphy, but I guess we might as well, right? It's not like they're gonna Drillbur us or anything. Like, I mean, they're not gonna Excadrill next turn, because they didn't put it down for some reason. Their hand has to be either Klefki or I don't know what Pokemon they held out, but this is why we play red. I mean, red card. That's why we play Mars for openers like this, and they just. I'm gonna leave this in the video. I'm gonna put this in the video because it just shows y'all that it happens, right? Like if they open like that, that beats like your best meta deck. Like, like what am I supposed to do there? But you just gotta keep trying, and hopefully I get enough runs for y'all. Like hopefully I will just win back to back, and I'll show y'all like, oh, the perfect way to win this. Because what was that? All right, so once again we go first, but this time surely we'll have a better hand, right? Or they'll have a worse one. Is actually what we need to hope for. This is a very good. Okay, automatically no Cosmog makes me feel a little bit better. Although, yeah, okay, and the cape makes it even better. Let's go cape and pass. Ideally, we would have wanted to go second, of course, but red card right now doesn't make much sense because we want them to like use at least like research, a couple Pokeballs, get rid of some of like that deck thinning, and then just like you see like now at most they're gonna put like a Cosmog down and pass. And in that case, we like now we shuffle that whole hand back, and the chances that those 3 cards are Solgaleo and Rare Candy, it's much lower than what it is right now. And we already have our setup, so even if they go Excadrill, we survive with Manaphy, which lets us ramp a little bit further, which is the whole reason why we're playing double cape. One is for the Manaphy, the second one is, well, 2 is just to see it more likely. One is for Manaphy, the other one, ideally, is for the Palkia. They don't have any form of, actually they have Sabrina, right? So technically we don't want to have Squirtle be susceptible to getting hit early. No need to heal for Irida. Irida's healing is essentially just for... There's a world where you could put Lily instead, because the main reason is if Solgaleo hits you, like if you trade with Solgaleo like back and forth, you ideally want... I just realized Excadrill has a 3 retreat cost. That's crazy. What I'm saying, like if you can't one-shot Solgaleo, right? But you could take one. So like the idea, all right, this hopefully, actually, yeah, hopefully it's Palkia, but realistically it doesn't matter. Another Squirtle, sure. No need to not set it up. Well, before I lose what I was trying to say. So yeah, you'll hit them for 140. That leaves them like at 30 HP. They hit you, so I like that's why we have helmet, because in a perfect world they hit you and they get knocked out. But in a perfect world, in the average time, they're gonna hit you and they're gonna put you down to 30 HP, and then you follow it up by knocking them out. But the issue is that then Excadrill just swipes in and hits you for 50. Or has the potential of doing that, and we want to avoid that. So that's why Irida putting you back to 70 is perfect. It's like the perfect number. The only issue right now is if they see Solgaleo, they do get the first hit on Blastoise, and that's not good either. However, I guess I could have sent out Squirtle. It is what it is. The Palkia's here. Yeah, I could have sent out Squirtle. But who could have told us what was gonna happen, right? Our best bet is just them not seeing Solgaleo or Rare Candy. We don't know which one they're missing. We're not even ready to swing for 140 yet. So yeah, the correct play was definitely to send out Squirtle first. However, we get to heal most of this back with Irida, so it's not the worst situation. And like I said, ideally, we would have helmet on the Blastoise. Yeah, we're gonna heal back with Irida, and if we have helmet, we just like essentially win. This does put them back to 2, which means like they would have to have Rare Candy Solgaleo. So I think it's worth. It's like a it's a tough spot to be in, right? Because could also set up Palkia as a backup line, because the chances we set up a second Blastoise is a lot lower. But because let's say out of those 3 cards they do see the Solgaleo, we lose, right? Unless we Irida. But you know what? We're playing the red card. We're playing the Mars. Let's like show why we're doing so, right? So far, it's worked perfectly fine. And let's just commit to the bit, I guess. They do play Sabrina. In which case, I guess we'd rather send out Manaphy. I don't know. I don't know if that was correct. But at this point, we're just banking on them not seeing the Solgaleo. So, and then I guess let's see what they send forward. Klefki. What they send forward just is more revealing of like what they might not have. Okay, research is tough there. Okay, another Cosmog, we're fine with that. The energy there is perfect. They do get to draw with Klefki. We're still away from... The Irida's still going to put us in range away from getting knocked out. Okay, now we're in a situation where we're okay. Yeah, now we're back up ahead because they're not playing Geo, they're not playing Red, they're not playing any like Helmet or anything to hurt us. So even if they see Solgaleo right now, they'll hit us down to 10 HP. We'll hit them down to... Okay, so it worked perfectly fine. They did not see the Solgaleo and Rare Candy. That's the reason we're playing Mars. But even if they had seen the Solgaleo at that point, Blastoise would have been able to hit them. We charged the Blastoise, hit him for 140, puts him to 30. They swing at us, they go down to 20, and then Palkia closes it out. Yes, they do play Lily, so technically it could have ended up being like, if they had Lily as well, it would have been like a high roll on the Palkia, but at least we had an option to win as well. Regardless, we take the W's when we can, and what I try to show you is a list that can do it. Honestly, this is one of been like the rougher ones because once if they open perfect, there's nothing like that any of my lists could do. Like I had a Poliwrath list that was working for me at some point, and honestly just wasn't consistent enough, and I'm like, I can't post this. If anything, at the end of the video I'll show it so y'all can see the list. Like it did end up getting me a win. It just wasn't enough to like do it where I could like show y'all the list. It wasn't like that good. So regardless, I showed you a really bad example. I showed you an example where we won. Let's do a third example, kind of like a best of 3 with this deck. All right, for the third game, at least we get to go second. We appreciate that. And unfortunately, no Manaphy. How would we want to do this? I feel like we guarantee like a second Squirtle, right? Unless it's double Manaphy here. I think I'm gonna lead a Squirtle because we could back it out into a Manaphy, and then hopefully. All right, we want to see Cape, I guess. I don't know. Tough spot to be in, especially if they just go Rare Candy Solgaleo. We just pick it up like game's over. We would love a red card maybe, I guess. I don't know. Well, there's the red card. Might as well do it. Again, we're trying to make it least likely for them to see a combination of Rare Candy and Solgaleo. And let's just say mathematically, 3 cards is less than 4 in that aspect. We found the Manaphy. And there's another Squirtle. I guess we could get aggressive here. And then just hope. I don't know, at this point we're just hoping really. And I hate saying that because it's supposed to be showing you how to win this. And I don't feel like I'm doing that, but a War Turtle here would be great. It knocks out Jobber. Irida is also fine. I think maybe I'll regret this, but I think it's worth setting up, especially since they had like a slower start. There's no Excadrill, there's no Solgaleo yet. Surprised they didn't go into the Clefty and try to draw cards out. A Mars would be great here, even though they essentially have bricked already, right? So all right, no need to Irida because if they see the only way they knock this out is by seeing Excadrill, and we don't have any control over that. Pokeball, okay, we're fine with that. Okay, so nope, the Pokeball didn't work, which means their hand consists of the other Jobber, the other Cosmog. So out of their 5 cards, we already know there's a Jobber in it, there's a Cosmog in it, and there's, what is that, 4 unknowns. We could technically start getting aggressive. We do risk Solgaleo coming in, and then like there being some kind of like Lily play for available to them, and then that becomes a high roll with the Palkia. Or we could take a little turn, like a turn slower, but I don't think we could afford to. Actually, realistically, it's in our best interest for them to, at this point, for them to go into Solgaleo and try to deal damage to us. So I guess yeah, let's just do this now. Set these up. Yeah, at this point, it's in our best interest that they go into Solgaleo. Yeah, because they're going to bring it up to the front. And then we can start doing the trade that I was talking about. Now, I guess, now that we're in this position. Yeah, I think we got to lead Blastoise first and leave Palkia as like a Hail Mary rather than swing Palkia. Let's say Palkia swings for 60. They just go Lily and the Palkia did absolutely nothing. Gets eviscerated. Then we're like, then we're in danger. We already have the Irida anyways. So we're able to win this trade of back and forth. We win the trade and then we follow it up with the RARITY to keep us like alive. There's some rare candies. We gotta almost put the energy on the Squirtle just because I could. You see, so we win this trade. Had we had helmet, we win it like 3 times over. We never saw it. Maybe you want to up helmet to 2 just for this interaction. Okay, Sabrina. Well, they are playing Cyrus, so that way, their Cyrus is dead now. Okay, so now that's even better interaction for us. Now we have no way of losing, so we take that. Right? They only have 1 Sabrina, no Cyruses. They have no second Solgaleo being built up. You know what? Just to show that we can, let's Mars their hand down to 1. You see, it's necessary to play Mars. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, the deck worked to perfection in this game. I'm glad I was able to show you the I guess this is the good. I don't know. I was thinking good, bad, and ugly, but it doesn't fit the premise of the video. I showed you the worst case. I showed you somewhere in between, and then the deck working as intended, which is like slowing down their evolution of Cosmog with the red cards and the Mars. And eventually, there's a certain situation point where you want them to find it, and you just take full advantage of it, and let's just swing for game. So yeah, this is honestly like the most consistent way I was able to beat it. It's still a headache, as you can see by the first example. If they see it, we just completely, they have no option. But I feel like it beats like whatever deck you put into the if they see it that early. Like that's why Solgaleo is like a viable deck in like ranked and all that. I have a video about it. Like maybe I'll link it. I don't know. It wasn't supposed to, that sentence wasn't meant to be a plug for my other videos, but yeah, Solgaleo is a deck that I use in my ranked climb. It's in my rotation of decks, and it's for that same reason. Like no matter what they're playing, if I see that early, what are they gonna do, right? So hopefully this list works for y'all. As you can see, it might take a few attempts because Solgaleo is crazy, but ultimately that was the final Expert Solo Battle Guide of Celestial Guardians. Hopefully all these videos helped y'all out. Can't wait for the next set so I can start posting more from now until the next set. Look forward to more like actual gameplay in either ranked or actually I can't promise casual. Like I'm a fiend for ranked. So for more ranked gameplay, there's a huge 10K tournament this weekend. As time of recording, of course. I don't know when you're watching this video, but I guess that's enough yapping. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Hopefully it helped you. Hopefully there's always like a playlist for all the Expert Solo Battle Guides that I've done for each individual set, so make sure to check back on those if you're missing any throughout your list. And above all else, thank y'all for watching. If you got to this point, thank you so much. We're getting so close to 500, and above all else, stay pro.